When I came to this site for the first time with our clients, I was overwhelmed by the beautiful view. You look towards the view of Corner Inlet and Wilson's Promontory, and it is breathtaking to see the way the light reflects on the water and the beach and the sand. When thinking about the design for Fishharven, we explored the local countryside and found inspiration in the small freestanding hay sheds and farm buildings dotted amongst the countryside. The site is located approximately 10 minutes drive out of Fish Creek, set amongst the rolling green hills of South Gippsland, not far from Wilson's Prom. And there are a lot of dairy farms in the area and a lot of farmers that live in the region. The client's brief was to create a family retreat, a place where they could come away from the city and come together with family and friends. At the outset of the design process, we had a prescribed building envelope to work within. The primary views were towards the south, towards Wilson's Prom and Corner Inlet. The key idea was to have 3 interconnected sculptural galvanised shed-like structures developed into quite sculptural forms that then contained 3 core parts of the house, with rooms getting a view or a glimpse towards the water. When you arrive, you come up these big stone steps and then into the main central core pavilion in the house with kitchen, living and dining. Right up the eastern end of the dining area is a brick fireplace, which is one of the key features in the room. The beautiful timber-lined ceilings sculpts up towards this beautiful warm brick bagged chimney, and in front of the fireplace there's a beautiful clay tiled terracotta hearth. Kitchen bench tops are very much wanting to keep that earthy tone going through, so they're just a simple reconstituted stone bench that has very much that earthy, ripply effect. One of the important parts of the design and the inspiration was to keep a very simple, warm palette of materials, something that picked up on nature outside, something that didn't distract you too much, that you couldn't take in the beautiful view, something that all just sat very harmoniously together and complement each other. Almost like looking into the trees and seeing the different soft tones is sort of how you feel when you're inside this house. At the eastern end, there is a link into the main bedroom pavilion. This beautiful space also has a vaulted timber ceiling and has a beautiful window seat view looking out to the water, adjacent to a beautiful ensuite. At the western end is a 3rd pavilion with another living space, a cosy little sitting room and 3 additional bedrooms, which are more cocooned, sort of cosy rooms with beautiful Hessian sort of wallpaper, which gives them a really sort of snug feeling. The interconnection of these is all via a very seamless glazed link, which is where the bathrooms are located in the building. The idea around the bathrooms was really to have them as quite pared back rooms, which allow you just to relax and just take in the view and really just have a sense of calm, which is what you really want when you're on a holiday. The smooth render doesn't shout at you, but it does not compete either. To us, it just seemed like a suitable material to have this very neutral palette without overdoing the space with lots and lots of tiles and different things going on. We worked with Nicole Bell on the interior furnishings and really worked closely as a team to do with artwork and objects, and this was a really important part of the project. The clients were really willing to invest in going on this journey of exploring beautiful objects and materials and arts and tapestries. And it's now beautiful to see them sitting in place. Cladding for the outside of the buildings needed to be a robust material. So we chose the galvanised corrugated iron, which felt completely appropriate because the inspiration was the farm buildings around the area, which are beautifully aged corrugated buildings that sit in the landscape. They really are part of the vernacular of the area, and this landscape and the weather conditions are fairly severe, and the galvanised material will really stand the test of time. While it sits beautifully and nestles into the landscape, creating a garden was really an important part of this project, and having parts of the garden where the client could get their hands into the dirt and plant veggies and create a garden that wasn't going to be destroyed by the local wildlife. We worked together closely with Acre Landscapes on the design, and the garden really is just evolving. It is still young, but it will become just this beautiful oasis of a garden sitting in the landscape. When it comes to sustainability, Neo Architecture's approach is always to consider materials and renewable resources and creating details that will last a long time, applying materials that won't wear out too quickly, and rooms that perform well in the Australian climate. In many ways, this is a very efficient home. There's no real wasted space. Yes, it provides a lot of accommodation, but each space is being carefully planned so that it's maximised in its use. The slab is so incredibly well insulated, and the whole house is so well sealed because of the winds in the area. There are big doors that open up towards the north that allow the sun to come in, and the windows work beautifully so you can get the breezes through. The challenges with the plan were to have these views to the south while still maintaining the key objectives of energy rating and passive solar gain. This house would not be the success that it is without the dedicated and extremely talented team of Kane. All the timber detailing, the way each board has worked its way up and across the ceiling, and the alignment of all the lining boards and the way this house is being put together is truly a work of art. This home has succeeded in providing a family with a retreat where they can come and enjoy nature and be calm and celebrate being together.